Hey everybody, this is Grace. In this video, I'm just going to talk about something that I'm reminded of, and I'll go back to when I was a child, and tell me if this is how it was for you and your family, and is now, maybe. When I was a kid, we would have, my family home, my parents, and there was a time when it was both of my grandparents on my mother's side, my maternal grandparents, and they lived with us for a short while, and they lived next door in their house, and they had our house built for us, by the way, except for one part my dad built, which is master bedroom, master bathroom, all that area, once it was built. Anyway, so in our house, it was usually my parents and me and my 4 siblings, okay? So it was usually 7 of us as I was growing up. And we would have dinner, the dinner table. That's what they called it, the dinner table. Remember, this is quite a while back. Anyway, and in the dining area, it wasn't a formal one. My dad he was a carpenter part of the time. He did carpentry work. And he had a regular job, but he did that. He started off as an accountant. But anyway, he liked to, as one of his friends would say, every time I come over, I don't know where the front door is going to be. Because he liked changing things around. Where the doors were, the back door, the front door, the side door, whatever door. I think the side door pretty much stayed the same because it was off of the laundry room. But he changed a lot. Like at one point, something would be a bedroom, he made it into a living room. Or a den. The living room, this kind of thing. He liked doing that. But the kitchen basically stayed the same, pretty much. The door would be sometimes right there, and right when you walked in the front door, right around the corner from it would be the telephone. And it was one of those old phones, rotary, that hung on the wall, and with my mother and dad's room, next to his bed on the bedside table was the other kind, that's set on the table. So it's way back then now. Okay. And yeah. Okay, I had to snooze one of my alarms on my phone. Anyway, that's what I do my videos on. But anyway, my dad had one strict rule. Okay, and we all had dinner at the dinner table, and it's right there when you come in the front door, usually, sometimes, the front door. There would be the telephone, and there would be the table, the dinner table. We'd all sit at the dinner table for a meal. My dad's strict rule, as you can figure out, is nobody calls our home during dinner time. And I don't remember what time it was, whether it was 5 or 7 or 6. I don't know. Those two ring a bell. I don't remember so long ago. But strict rule, nobody calls at that time. Within that hour or so, it was a strict rule. So we all had to tell everybody, don't call during that time. I don't know if we even did. But he would get very angry. Like bent out of shape. It always made me wonder, why did he get so bent out of shape about it? When I was young, I was like, why? So what? People call. Yeah, you answer the phone, and you say, we're eating dinner. We'll call you back later. Plain and simple. But it really wasn't. As I got older, of course I realized, especially now, for how many years, that it's disrespectful. If you tell people, don't call me at this time, that's when me and my family are having, dinner, and that's what we do every day, you don't call. You have respect for that person. But there would be some people who would call, even though they knew better, and they knew this. But it's kind of, when you really start to think about it, what is going on with them? Why would they think that they're so special they should do that? Seriously. Do people even think like that anymore? I'm kind of curious. Yeah, I'll tell you why now. Okay, now I don't think we've ever had a strict rule about what time is, dinner time. But Adam's sister, she's between my age and his, she did. When she came visit in 2017 and 2018, they live in another country. some of his family, they live all over the world, that kind of thing. But she came to visit, and like his brother, one of his brothers came, and he was from he's from Florida, not way, but Florida, and different places people live. And she had this rule at 7 o'clock. Well, no, this is my home and his home. It's not your home. You don't say when we eat. She tried to do that, a strict rule, and I told them flat out, no. I eat when I eat. Period. But she would try so hard, I mean, seriously. And that thing really bothered me. It's a lot bothered me. I am not a fan of hers. And I remember I said one day that she's not a fan. I was telling him when I said she's not a fan of mine. I got it backwards. I said it backwards. He said, well, that's probably very true. I said, I don't care. The woman was wrong. You don't go into somebody's house and go into their kitchen and change it all around the way you want it. Take it over, just like some of his other family members do. Change things around. You don't do that. No. Period. That's my rule. You don't come into my home and start changing things around. It's just, wow, the audacity, the what's going on in somebody's head, the arrogance, I know the name for it. Anyway, so she tried that. But there was another thing she tried to do. Every day, Monday through Friday, Adam and I, back then, would, we don't watch the same kind of shows. We don't care for the same kind of TV shows. And he likes to watch the big TV in the living room. I like to watch it in the front part of the house. I have kind of cornered off that part of the house. So, there's various reasons, like the dog's not letting them in because they'll get out. And that way I can, do this. Anyway, it's got an office and a room that used to be the office that was made into it has a TV, and it also has a bed in there and a chair and stuff, different things. So I can watch TV because I don't watch the same thing as he. But we would get together and watch every Monday through Friday. We would watch Rachel Maddow. From what I understand now, she only is on Monday. I stopped watching news like January last year. Or whatever it was. Not January last year, but yeah. I stopped watching, Anyway, boy, time flies, doesn't it? Man, wow. I'm shaking my head at how fast it's all gone. Wow. Anyway, so she was here, and she saw us have this habit of every day, he and I would get in there, the big TV in the living room, and watch Rachel Maddow. Okay, and talk about it, and we wouldn't really talk about it. We'd watch it, and watch it through the show. The commercials, we say something, but not so much during the show unless it was something we really needed to point out. You know what she did? She had rooms upstairs that we let her use while she was visiting. 2 rooms. Well, she usually used 1. And she would come down and purposefully sit down at 8 o'clock. That's what time it is here that it was on. 8 o'clock. And it's 8 o'clock, right? Was it? Yeah. And she would come down and... Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I think it's 8. I can't remember now. Yeah, 8. She would come down and sit there and talk to Adam. Sometimes in a different language, one I didn't understand. And she would want to sit there and talk through the whole show. She had to be center of attention. And she knew that's when he and I, the only show that we watched together. And she even did the whole thing of that crazy kind of laughter that they have, this type. Yeah. And Adam noticed, and he was ticked off. He got ticked off. But why didn't he say something and enforce the rule? I would. I'd let him know I didn't appreciate it. And still, every time. Well, then, as she went and saw her other brothers that lived in different places, one in San Antonio, one somewhere in Florida at the time they moved. But she would go and stay with them for a while and all that. She would call every day at 8 o'clock, Monday through Friday. Yeah, think about it. She knew better, but she'd do it anyway. Okay, or, she'd call and Adam wouldn't answer, Then she got their younger brother, Adam's and her younger brother, he was my age, he would call at 8 o'clock. I'm not kidding. Okay, so then when she finally went back to her home, after she was visiting in the United States for like around 6 months, and she had come back here for a while, and I left and I went and stayed in a hotel for like 10 days or something. I wasn't going to deal with her. It was just too much. My blood pressure had gotten too high and all that. Dealing with her was too much, way too much. So she finally left, she had visited everybody and left the country, went back to hers, and wherever she was staying at the time. And she would call, do the Skype, something like, what do they call it nowadays? FaceTime? Is it FaceTime? Some call it the same thing as Skype they used to call it. Whatever. They don't use either one of those. I don't know if FaceTime is an actual app. I don't know. I don't use them either. But she would do that every day, Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock. You got it. Yes, indeedy. That means that Adam and I would be in the living room, 8 o'clock, to watch our Rachel Maddow show, and she's going to call to FaceTime, which means what? He's talking out loud with her, on doing that FaceTime stuff. Oh, man. I mean, some people. And his brother, when he would call, still calls at 8 o'clock. And it gave me the impression that she told his brother to call us at that time. And with their younger brother, hers and Adam's, to call us whenever he called us, to call us at 8 o'clock. I just got that feeling. Of course, I can't say that it's true. They haven't said that. But yeah, I got the feeling because he never would before. Until she visited. She probably went over there and said, the best time to call him is at this time. Just stirring the pot. That kind of, just starting trouble. Yeah, that type. So now, all these years later, I can understand more why my dad did not like people to call. At the time, he said, this is when we eat dinner. We don't accept phone calls during that time. Because it's a lack of respect. It's a person, in my view, these kinds of situations, in my view, could be wrong, but in this, I'm pretty much right, that these are people who want to show their dominance. And then they can have the right to disrupt anything because they're more important. This kind of mentality, it could be more, could be less, could be different, whatever. But no, that's how I see it. They want to show they have the power and control to disrupt your life whenever they feel like it. Even if you don't answer, the fact that you would know that they called unless you blocked them, totally blocked their number, they're going to show that they can do it. And when you go and you check your phones and you see a loss, even if you turn the volume off and all that, you go to your phone and at 8 o'clock, there they were, they're going to call. You see, people like that, disgusting to me. But I get it. I get it now. Well, I've gotten it. I understood it for a while now. Years and years. And I mean, it's just people. Come on, have some respect for other people. It's not all about you. And I know not everybody does that. It is not one size fits all. It's not 100% across the board. Not everybody does these things. But those who do, really now. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. Talk to you on another video. Bye.